So you left your last oncology appointment with like a follow-up date, maybe, and maybe a prescription. Or what you didn't leave with was a support and recovery plan. And it's not because anyone forgot, it's not because your team doesn't care, but because nobody in that room had a job that included that. So if you've been wondering why you still don't feel well, even when your results say everything is fine and your labs say you're normal, this is the video that explains that. There is a huge gap in cancer care, and most women are living inside it without anyone ever really naming it for them. So let me name it for you. I'm Melissa. I'm a certified integrative cancer coach. I'm a former litigation lawyer, and I'm someone who's worked with over 600 women worldwide navigating exactly this. Cancer found me too. This isn't just theory for me. I've been where you are. And here's the first thing to understand that I wish I'd understood. Oncology is designed to do one job, and it does it often extraordinarily well. It targets the cancer, the surgery, the chemotherapy, the radiation, the hormone therapy, the tumor, the immediate medical threat. That job is critical, and your team are the right people for it. But that job has an edge, and the edge is the rest of you. Your energy, your sleep, what you eat during and after treatment, the joint pain, the brain fog, the weight that won't shift, the fear that we all experience before every subsequent scan. Never mind your sense of who you are now. None of that is a medical emergency. So none of that is what your oncology appointments are built to address. And this isn't your doctor withholding anything, it's structural. Think about how it actually works, right? Oncology training does not include lifestyle medicine. It doesn't include nutrition. It doesn't include mental health. And a 15-minute appointment cannot deliver a support and recovery plan, even when the will is there. Medicine is reactive by design. It responds to what shows up on a scan. It was never built to proactively rebuild a whole person. And specialism, which is what makes oncology so good at the cancer, also means that the parts of you between the specialists fall into the cracks. So when treatment ends, the system steps back. The tumor's been addressed and you're sent home to recover, but without a map. And there is a word the medical system uses for what comes after treatment, and the word is surveillance. They keep an eye on it. They watch. And that's a good thing. The watching matters. But that surveillance is not a recovery plan. Monitoring whether the cancer comes back is a completely different thing from helping your body rebuild so it's less likely to come back. And here's what almost every woman does next. And I tell you, I did it too. You go looking for the plan yourself. You open your laptop or your phone at 11 p.m. You read the forums, you join the groups, you buy the supplements someone swore by, you try the elimination diet, you download the meditation app, you spend the money, you spend the hours, and you try so hard, and you still don't feel right. And when that happens, most women that I've met draw a very quiet, painful conclusion. They decide they're the problem, that they haven't found the right answer yet, or they're just not doing it well enough. And that conclusion's wrong. And this is the part that I really want you to most hear. You haven't failed. You've been solving a problem with single solutions, one supplement here, one diet there, one stress tool. And a system problem, because that's what this is, can't be fixed one piece at a time, no matter how good any single piece it is. So let me give you the frame, the ideas that might change everything for you if you haven't heard it before. It's called the terrain. So your terrain is your internal environment. This is the conditions that your cells actually live in, your inflammation levels, your hormone balance, your immune function, your metabolic health, your gut, your nervous system, your sleep, the cumulative load of stress, right? That's the terrain. And cancer doesn't develop in a vacuum, it develops in a terrain. And here's the hard truth about treatment. As powerful and as necessary as it often is, treatment often disrupts that terrain further. It can raise inflammation, it can affect your gut, it can suppress your immune function, deplete nutrients, and overload an already stretched and stressed out nervous system. Because it's tackling the cancer, it's not dealing with your terrain. So when you finish treatment feeling worse than you expected, you're not imagining it. The tumor hopefully was addressed. The terrain was not. And it's often the terrain, like I said, is more disrupted than it was before it started. And that space between what treatment does and what your body actually needs in order to recover is the gap. It's the reason your results can say normal while your body says something very, very different. Because normal is not the same as optimal. Those are two different questions. And the appointments that you've had with your oncology teams only had time for the first one. So here's the picture I give every woman that I work with. Bear with me, okay? But I want you to imagine a fish in a fish tank. But the water is cloudy. The water is a bit dirty. And you can medicate the fish, and the fish might improve. It might recover for a little while if it had been sick. But if you never clean the water that the fish lives in, how likely is the fish to get sick again? More likely than we'd like. Well, your body follows the same rules. Treatment targeted the fish. Nobody cleaned the water. And cleaning the water is the work that's missing. So if nobody's handed you a support and recovery plan, where do you actually start? All the information out there can be really interesting. It can be really useful, but it does nothing until you do something with it. But you start by getting clear on your own terrain, not generic advice, yours. Because the same conditions show up differently in a woman in active treatment or a woman on hormone therapy or a woman 5 years out. So before you change anything and flit around from one magic thing to another, you need to understand where your terrain is right now. And there's one filter that cuts through almost all the noise. When you're drowning in conflicting information, ask one question of any of the choices in front of you. Does this reduce inflammation? Does it support hormone balance? Or does it strengthen your immune function? Because those three levers sit underneath most of your symptoms and most of your long-term risk. If a choice moves one of them in the right direction, it's probably worth your energy. If it doesn't, you can probably let it go. So this is the foundation of my program, Cancer to Confidence, where this terrain work gets mapped to your specific situation with coaching that stays with you as things change. Now, I'm not going to walk you through the whole method here, but what I want you to leave with today is the shift in how you see the problem. Because once you stop chasing single answers for this or that, start thinking about your terrain. Start fixing things from the ground up, not symptom by symptom. Stop medicating the fish and start cleaning the water, because everything you do next gets easier to choose. Now, one more thing, because the lawyer in me can't help it. The next time you're in an appointment and something is genuinely affecting your life, don't say I'm tired or I'm not coping. Say it in a way that your team can act on it. Medical teams often respond to data, to metrics. Rate it out of 10 and name what it's stopping you from doing. For example, my fatigue is an 8. That is not normal for me. and it means I cannot get through a workday. That's a sentence that a medical team can respond to rather than, I'm just really tired lately, because vague gets dismissed, specific gets heard. That is advocacy, and you are allowed to do it for yourself. Now, if you want to see where your own terrain is right now, I have built a short free terrain check that shows you. It's the starting point that I recommend for every woman who's just realized that the support and recovery piece of her cancer care is missing. It's linked below and it's pinned in the comments. And if this gives you language for something you've been feeling but could not name, please subscribe. This is what I make videos about, the part that happens after the appointments end. You weren't given a support and recovery plan. That's the problem. And the problem was never you. I'll see you in the next one.